Hello there, welcome to Cartooning with Paul. Today I'm going to teach you how to draw Minnie Mouse, but with a little Halloween flair. We're going to teach you how to draw her as a witch today, so come on, let's get started. Hello there, cartooners. Welcome back to Cartooning with Paul. Yeah, like I said, we're going to draw Minnie Mouse with a little Halloween flair. We're going to give her a witch's hat. Now, this video comes as a special request from Raylan. Now, Raylan actually bumped into me over at Disney California Adventure. For those of you who don't know, I do work at Disneyland over at the California Adventure theme park. You can find me either teaching you how to draw Disney cartoon characters over there at Animation Academy, but more likely you're going to find me over at Turtle Talk with Crush. I get to work with Crush very closely, so if you do happen to see me in the building, come on over and say hi. I absolutely love that. All right, let's get into this. So now we're going to draw Minnie Mouse with a witch's hat, right? So we're going to want to leave room for that hat. So I'm going to draw my initial circle for her head, kind of lower on my page. Now remember to use your shoulder to do all of this work here. Your circles will be better, even though mine's a little odd here. And then we'll draw in our construction lines. One goes vertically right down the center. And the eye line on Minnie Mouse comes down a little lower than halfway. Minnie Mouse has bigger eyes than Mickey, so we need to give some room for that. She has a smaller snout, and that all fits in under here. But before we do that, let's just map out where the ears go. So we're going to do a 45-degree angle very lightly right up here, and this is where that ear rests. The same thing on this side. And the ears are going to be the size of the top half of the circle. So give a nice ovally shape. Now I'm going to draw very lightly because we are going to be drawing a witch's hat brim over these ears. So let's just roughly sketch in those ears there. So now that we have that in there, we can start to draw in the face. Before we draw in the costume, you always make sure you've got the character face down. So I'm going to start with the nose, which is just an oval shape. You want to give some space underneath that eye line. Now don't be afraid to turn your page. I can turn my page and let the wrist and the natural rotation of that wrist do the work here. I'm going to give a snout line right above the nose. And then let's give her her mouth before we go any further. So Mickey Mouse smiles really big. Those smile lines will go about halfway up the height of his nose, right? So if it were Mickey, we would draw the smile from up here. Minnie Mouse has a smaller smile. We've got to make sure that she's more feminine. So that smile, while it's nice and big, it's not quite as big as Mickey's. It's more than just eyelashes that differentiate from these two mice. So we'll draw in a smile line on either side. Got to make sure that Minnie Mouse looks more demure, okay? More mindful, more cutesy. So here, let me just shade in the nose, just so we can differentiate it from the face, right? But now, we've got this nose in here. She smiles as wide as her nose. And we'll just bring it down into a curved U shape. You want to make sure that once you get to the snout line, the mouth, that you curve into the mouth with. And then we're going to give her a little bit of a lower lip. Now notice the open mouth will be drawn over the bottom of the circle here. That's okay. She's a cartoon character. We're stretching it out. So we're going to give her tongue in here just like this. And I'm going to shade in the inside of her mouth to give it a little bit of depth. All right, so we've gone over how to draw Mickey and Minnie before, but we're going to go over the rules again. All right, there are definite rules into making sure that your mice look on model, right? Look like they're supposed to. So with the cheeks, I'm going to follow the smile line, and I'm going to make sure I copy this arc right up in here. You see how it's the same direction? And we're going to pull that smile out here like so. And then we're going to dip right in, right behind that open mouth. Now we're going to do the same on this side. I'm going to follow this arc right up in here and draw in a nice full cheek shape and tuck it right in behind that lip. If the cheek is a little too big or too small, you can always adjust it because we're drawing lightly at first, right? So now with the eyes, we're going to draw them nice and big. Minnie's eyes are bigger than Mickey's. So we're going to draw them nice and close into this vertical line that we drew. So I'm going to draw in a parenthesis shape or a really stretched out backward C shape. And then I'm going to mirror that on this side. And now I'm going to make this eye a nice tall oval, but it's going to tuck in behind this arc here, the snout. Same on this side. So now that we have the eyes drawn in, we can draw in her hairline, also known as the mask. All right, and just like the cheeks, how they copy the arc of the smile line, the mask is going to copy the shape of her eyes. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to draw very lightly because we've got to draw in that hat, right? But the hairline or the mask line is copying the shape of the eyes right here in the middle. The same thing with the outside of the eye. We're going to copy the shape of the eye. I'm going to do the same on this side. We're going to copy this shape of the eye. And once you get to the top here, it curves right up to the edge of that circle. It needs to touch the circle, okay? And now we'll adjust the circle in a little bit. It's looking pretty good to me. So now this is your drawing. She can be looking in any direction that you would like. If you want her looking up, great. If you want her looking straight at you, that's what I'm going to do. So if Minnie's going to be looking right at us, first, her pupil is half the size of the eye. And if you want her looking right at you, just draw the pupil in close to the bottom corner of the eye. You want to make sure you leave some space here. Otherwise, she's going to look cross-eyed. We don't want Minnie Mouse looking cross-eyed. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying right now that you just taught us how to draw Mickey again. I didn't. We're going to add in that one detail that really stands out from Mickey, right? Not only did we draw the nose a little bigger, the snout smaller, and the smile smaller, we're going to draw in 3 eyelashes from either eye. The middle eyelash needs to be longer than the other 2. I'm going over them a couple times. A lot of people just flick the wrist, but I like to make sure that there are no mistakes where I'm drawing those eyelashes. And there you have it. There's Minnie Mouse. So let's give her her witch's hat. So I drew lightly here. I'm going to erase a little bit. I drew it a little darker so that you could see what I was doing, but we're just going to lightly go over this with the kneaded eraser. And now I'm going to draw in a great big brim. I'm going to draw right through with a big, sharp oval shape, okay? And then I'm going to go over the top of that oval with a little more pressure. And then I'm going to stop the bottom part of that oval right at the side of her head. Same on this side here. The ears will come from behind the brim, but we're not there yet. Here, let's give her the top of her head again. And now I can darken in the lines I want to keep. There you go. That's looking all right. So now with the cone of the hat, we wanted to start at the base of the hat about the same width of her head. It's got to rest nicely on there. So I'm going to very lightly draw through the brim like this. Now that I've got that in there, I can either continue that hat all the way up, or I can have some fun with it like I'm about to. The attraction that I met Raylan in has a little bit of a show going on right now for Halloween. So I'm going to copy that hat, and I'm going to bend the ear, or bend the cone down. Okay, I shouldn't have darkened that, and you'll see why. So I'm going to bring that cone down to the side. And I'm going to give one more little wrinkle there. Okay. Now that I've got that in there, let's throw in the band to the hat. But now, right here, she has a bow. And it's smaller than her typical bows. It's just a little accent onto the hat. So, we'll zoom in the camera here. And we're going to draw in a typical bow that you would find on Minnie, but it's going to be smaller scale. So I'm going to draw in a little shape in there, and then it gets wider toward the bottom. Throw a little tension line, and the little inside curve. All right, we're going to do the same on this side. You're going to see more of it on this side. So we're going to bring it, curve it, and bring it down so you drew in like a candy cane shape. And then the bottom of the bow there. Draw in that little crease line and the tension line, just like that. Now that we've got that in there, we can darken in the rest of that ear that isn't being covered up by her hat brim. You can make adjustments as you need to for the finished product. Just like so. Now, if you want to color in the ears and her fur, just make sure you color it in the same color. If you're using your pencil, make sure you use the same amount of pressure so that you can tell that it's all supposed to be the same color. But if you're using markers, that's easier. And there you have it, some finished line. Got to make sure at the end you sign your sketches. 24. Man, this year is, it's getting close. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. Raylan, I hope you enjoyed this video especially. Come on back and say hi again, okay? Thanks so much. Say hi to your father for me. Guys, Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, thumbs up, subscribe. Until the next time, we'll see you later.